All right. Hello, everybody. This is Norm from the Board Game Museum, and welcome to Board Game Giants, our little show. And today I'd like to welcome my special guest, Tim, from the Meepleville Board Game Cafe. And I actually have a little screen share thing I'm going to do, and hopefully this is going to work. But this is his website. And
that's an old picture, yeah.
Yeah, it's an old pick. This is just some of what he's got. This is a board game cafe. They have like menu items, but they also have a monstrous library of games available you can buy. But like I think you have like 2,400 or so available that you can play. They've got, and I believe if I read correctly, you've got like the largest board game cafe in the whole state of Nevada, right? Or something close to that.
Yeah. As far as I know, yeah, we were the first ones, and yeah, as far as I know, the largest one too. As far as because there was a couple in Vegas that shut down due to COVID. Smaller ones that open, and I know there's one up in Reno, but they're mostly like a bar because it's 21 and over to come in. It's very nice. So yeah.
And your guys are in Las Vegas, right?
We are. Yep, right in the center of the valley in Las Vegas. Yep.
That is amazing. So today, what we're going to do, guys, we're just going to ask Tim about him. And if you all have any questions, feel free to ask them. And actually, I got a couple of comments. I can't wait 7 more minutes. Oh, he was talking about the timer that I had on here. All right, let me ask this. Did you ever play like games growing up, or do you have any fond memories growing up playing games at all? Or kind of like what's your backstory?
Well, my whole life I played games. I grew up in Connecticut, and so I played a lot of the classics. Cribbage is what I've played. Can you hear that ringing? Is that bothering you by any chance? Because there's an alarm going off. If not,
I don't hear it.
Okay, okay. So I played Cribbage growing up an awful lot, and then yeah, just regular board games. I played with my dad a lot. I played like Go to the Head of the Class. I remember. And of course, you know, Monopoly, Risk, all those type of games like that too. When I played Landslide a lot with my cousins. But yeah, I was just one of those type of people that if you had a game, I was willing to play it, learn it. But yeah, I played a lot of games growing up. And backgammon too. That was another big one I played.
Yeah, my wife and I love Cribbage. We're always finding like new little rules that you can add, and I don't know if if we're just discovering these new rules or if they've always been there. But that's a great game, and Monopoly, of course, we play as well. Those were some of your favorites growing up. Did you have any particular ones other than those that you can remember?
Well, the truth of the matter is I didn't know about like this hobby world, right? You know, with Catan and stuff that, you know, we're all in now, or not all in, but a lot of us are in now. And I didn't know about that world. So I was just one of those type of kids who played what was in, I don't even know what the store, maybe Toys R Us if they were back when I was younger, or, you know, just what was in the stores or on, you know, came on TV, you know, commercials for Christmas, just what was available to the general public. Those are just what I knew. Oh, and like Racco. I think that was probably one of the first games. I remember I played that real young with my aunts and uncles, like when I was a real kid at my real young kid at my grandparents' house, Racco. So yeah, things like that. Just what was available to the public.
Fantastic. I think it's kind of the same with me. We just kind of played what was available. I know we had played Life a lot.
Oh yeah, played that.
I've learned one thing. The games that I played younger, we never played correct. There was always like 4 or 5 rules that I did not even know existed.
We all did the same thing. Yeah.
So here's a question: when did you start collecting? When did you start the hobby? How did that come into being for you?
You mean like this hobby, you know, as far as the Euro games or the modern hobby board gaming?
Well, I guess just in general, like when you started actually collecting games or just kind of getting into the hobby. Yeah, I guess a kind of a combination of both, like when you got involved in the hobby and then how it kind of got to where you are now. We'll just kind of go from there.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, the first Euro game I played was Catan, Settlers of Catan. Because I used to, you know, be an entertainer on cruise ships. So I did a lot of cruise ships. And one of the, I think he was a vocalist or something, had the game Catan. And we played one time. And I was just like, wow, what is this? This is really cool. So I played that, learned about that. And then the next Euro game I found was that I was introduced again on a cruise ship by a Polish trio band, was Puerto Rico. And once I played Puerto Rico, I was like, wow, because, it had zero luck, right? Catan had the dice, so it was nice, but Puerto Rico had zero luck. You had to make your own decisions. And after that, I just fell in love with it. And then, fortunately, here in Las Vegas, Stefan, who is the COO of Yellow USA, he lived here then. This was back in like 2007. He started the Las Vegas board games group. So I found that, and I started from there. And since he was already in board gaming, he taught me about Board Game Geek and all these kind of stuff about conventions. And from there, that's where I really, really got into the hobby and started learning about this, game world of hobby gaming.
Interesting. That's very cool. You sung on a cruise ship, huh? Did you do that for a while?
I did. I did it for I don't know, 15 years or something. I mean, I didn't live on the ships. I was what they call a fly-on entertainer. Like a lot of the headliners and stuff, they would fly us. You'd go fly to, I don't know, Puerto Rico. I mean, I've flown like to Venice. Gotten on a ship and spent 2 weeks on the ship, get off in wherever it was, Greece somewhere, and then fly home or something. I mean, so that's what I did. I did that for a long time.
Oh, awesome. Well, I do music. I'm a musician myself. I've not done cruise ships, but yeah, I've played a long time until the virus hit, and I've been doing other things. But hopefully, I'll get back into it again.
Very nice. Well, we're fellow entertainers. See that?
Yeah, I sing and play piano. Now, I don't know how many people know that, but nice. Did you start up a board game cafe before you were at Meepleville, or how did that all come into play? Did you, when you started doing the cafe, or mixing the restaurant with the board games, how did that come about?
Oh, well, no, I just once I heard about Snakes and Lattes, because I opened up in 2010 up in Toronto, I knew that's what I was going to do, because my whole life, even years ago, because I just played games. I just loved games, and all my friends, they would, buy me games and, whatever. I always like Borders or Barnes and Nobles, right? I was like, man, this would be great. Instead of books, they had games, because Barnes and Nobles was really nice. And, like some places they had couches where people would be sitting and reading, or tables or students would be studying. They had the Starbucks, the cafe. And I was like, wow, this would just be great if it was like all board games. And so, when I did finally open it, a friend of mine from 20 years ago, 30 years ago, he was like, Tim, he goes, you finally did it. And I was like, oh yeah, that's right. I did talk to you about that a long time ago. So yeah. And at first I opened, it was just one side with just basically board games, the pay to play. I had a retail space, a small little, you buy soda and packaged food. And then about 10 months in, I had a Kickstarter, and then I opened the other side with the full cafe.
Okay, the Kickstarter, was that was that a game that you had made, or how did that work?
The Kickstarter was for specifically to help fund the opening of the cafe section.
Oh, okay.
That was it. That was what the Kickstarter was for.
So when it first opened, do you have any memories or experiences when people first walked in and just saw this massive library? Because I actually have said it'd be great. I've seen a library with books. I said, man, it'd be great if there was these are all just board games and you could just have a cafe. And that has since happened. It hasn't happened here, but I'm glad to see that, you've got something going on. That's a great dream to have. And I'm glad that that's come true for you, for sure.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
But how was it when you first started, when it first opened up? Do you have any fond memories or anything that you can remember from the first year or so?
Yeah, it was tough, just like everything. And again, I've learned a lot. On my YouTube channel, I had a little series. I've done, 8 episodes, I think, called Small Business Chronicles. I kind of talk a little bit about what I went through, and, to try to help people if they were interested in opening it themselves. But yeah, because, I was in the mindset. I mean, of course, I knew it was a business first. I wasn't doing it to support my hobby, like a lot of people who open game stores and things like that. That wasn't my intention, because I was never going to do magic at all. So I wasn't going to use that to support it. So I was in the mindset of a gamer, and I was one of the big mistakes I made was focusing too much on people like me, the gamers. And I was, trying to appease them, trying to make them happy, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And and now I've realized that the overwhelming majority of my customers are just, this is a weird term, but normal people, you know what I mean? Not us, right? Not right. not the gamers. They're just like regular people who want a night out to come and play games and have a good time. It's just like an entertainment venue. So I wish I had that mindset going in, being more of a place for everybody, for the public, instead of just us, So
Yeah.
that was a big lesson that I learned. But yeah, no, it was great. I mean, it was once, this March 17th is when I had to close the doors. And then reopen all that kind of stuff now. But yeah, I mean, this was our 5th year. We were doing fantastic, and things were going great.
I just had a thought. I would love to come visit you guys. If we ever get to come down there, I'm going to tell my wife, Rebecca, yeah, we need to come down and see Timm. And
please do.
Play all 2,400 of the games that they have. I was actually just thinking, since both of us are musicians, I'm
not a musician. No, I did. No, I didn't. No, I did a magic and comedy. That's what.
Magic and comedy. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, do you have any magic tricks you could do on the show right now that you can? Well, I was just saying, when I mean doing music and stuff, I found it's kind of like the same thing, because we all have songs that we really like to perform, but it's always like what the crowd wants. We've played Brown Eyed Girl, I don't know how many times, and you get to the point where you're so tired of playing that song. But if that's what they want to hear, that's what you give them. And I guess it's kind of like the same when it comes to your business, as opposed to trying to give people what you like a lot. You just kind of give them what they want, and then they come back for more. So yeah, I just kind of discovered that little dynamic you were talking about. But here's a question. Do you like a lot of the newer games? I was looking through like the collection you guys have. You have like a whole bunch of the recent games. Do you have any of? Do you guys carry like any of the older ones?
Well, I have me personally, because I mean, we've got a lot of games, but so in the cafe, I set up like a little museum area, because one of my collection things I like to collect are TV show games. So I have Gomer Pyle, Grizzly Adams, Laverne and Shirley, Fat Albert, Flintstones, all. So that's what I really collect. And then we also have a warehouse, because we got this big collection, about like 5,000 games. And this guy had his lifetime of games, and there's a whole bunch more there of like all the 3M Avalon Hill like games from the 50s, 60s, and all that kind of stuff. So we got a lot. And he had a big kind of Monopoly collection too. We haven't gone through, but our oldest game in the warehouse, I think, was from 1914, I think, something like that. So yeah.
Wow. And
in Meepleville, I actually, in one of my cases, I have the original D&D books too and stuff like that. So
wow, that you could actually probably make an actual board game museum with all.
Yeah, we had thought about that. That's one of the things we want to do, because we have all those games, right? We got now we have about 5,600 in the warehouse, but it's just disheartening to me that all those games are just sitting there not being appreciated. So we really would like to have a place where people can come at least look at them, because again, they're games over 100 years old in there, so it'd be nice for people to see them.
Yeah, and I was talking to somebody yesterday, and a lot of times when we talk about some of the older games, and I'll ask you this too, we've just found like there's just something about some of the older games that some of the newer ones, they may not typically have like a 3D board or something like that, or just a charm. Do you have any kind of distinction you see between some of the older games and some of the newer games today that like maybe an older game may have that maybe today's doesn't? Do you have a thought on that?
Well, I don't know if there's necessarily anything I miss per se. To be honest, I'll give you sort of an example. This happened about a month and a half ago. Are you familiar with the game, the Kickstarter that just Cleopatra and the Society of Architects, by any chance?
I have heard of it. I have not seen it yet, though.
Okay, well, I got it, and I opened it up and all that kind of stuff. Played with my wife, of course, but it's this big game with all these big plastic pieces, and you're building this big building, and you're putting out these big lions and obelisks and all this kind of stuff. So they're big, huge plastic pieces. And as I was playing the game, it kind of made me feel as if it was a toy. So it sort of brought me back to those days where I was like, wait a second, I don't want to play a toy. I'm a gamer. I don't want to do this. And so I would say, as far as what a lot of games these days don't have, I'd say is that they're not meant to sort of be just like, look at Life, right? Life had like the kind of roads you could go up, right? The plastic pieces. They had the spinny dial. They had the houses, like when you folded it up, sometimes, the houses would pop up depending what year you had and stuff like that. So a lot of them had that. Games these days have it too. But the thing that I think differentiates the games of today from in the past is the elimination, more, at least in the Euro games, of luck and randomness, which I really appreciated, because back then, especially the TV show games like that, right? They all had spinners. That was just a spinner, right?
Yeah.
Or dice, and that's what it all was. It was just luck. It was fun. That's what those games were. They weren't, so I think that's, to me, that's the big difference that I think gaming has improved these days, at least for me personally.
Yeah. They have eliminated a lot of the luck factor in a lot of those games too. And yeah, I was just thinking too, a lot of the games that I enjoy are kind of toy-like. They're toys and games.
Right.
Speaking of older games, you probably are familiar with restoration games, like how they've remade some of the older games, like
Absolutely.
Island. Are there any older games you think that they ought to reprint, or any that you hope that they might reprint?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, again, because like the better ones, in my opinion, are still like Acquire, right? Acquire's still around.
Yeah.
So that's fine. But I mean, again, I don't know, because it's some of the games I haven't played in years. Like, for example, Landslide, because I used to go up to Maine every summer and spend the summer with my cousins up there, and we used to play that game to death. I remember the title. I remember it was about, I guess it was about like states and election and votes, I think, something like that. But I couldn't really tell you. I really couldn't tell you what it was about, if it's worthy of a reprint. You know what I mean? So there are a lot of games that I do have fond memories of, but I don't know if they'd be worthy of restoration games doing them, because I haven't played them in years. You know what I mean? So that's kind of a tough question to answer.
Yeah, I imagine. I know that they usually get a lot of feedback, and I imagine they're probably going to do stuff like Omega Virus, or games that people really remember from their childhood. Because I know Fireball Island was one that anytime I've ever asked anybody about it, remembered as a kid, had very fond memories of. So I would guess that's most likely what they're going to do. So I was looking. I'm going to go to your Meepleville page here.
Okay.
I'm going to just go. We'll just go through it a little. I see you had a calendar here. Let me throw one on here. Do you guys have any events that you guys are doing right now?
No, we're not doing anything right now at all, because again, there's state regulations with the COVID.
Right.
So, we have to be at 25% capacity, can only have maximum of 4 people at a table. So yeah, we're not doing anything.
What were you guys doing before the virus hit, as far as like, did you guys do tournaments and things like that?
We had D&D was big. We had 2 nights of D&D. Some nights we'd get like 5 to 7 tables. We had trying to think. Oh, we had Werewolf 2 nights. Some nights it was like really big. Sometimes we would have 2 groups of like 20 people. We'd have huge groups playing. I'm trying to think what else is. It's kind of been so long now, right?
Yeah, right.
But yeah, we did, and of course we had a lot of we had bachelor parties, corporate parties, birthday parties. We had school things come in, just college kids, fraternities, sororities from UNLV, just a lot of different things. We did try events, sort of, but again, like I talked about earlier, those are more focused for the gamers, right? Because we used to have like a Splendor tournament or Catan tournament, Ticket to Ride tournament, but again, those are for the gamers. They're not just for the general people. So like even right now, I have a backgammon club, I have a bridge club, I have a pinochle group. So those are games that are more for, the general public knows, instead of just us as the hobby gamers.
All right, I got a question here. I don't know if you've played this one. I'll just toss it up at you. Does anyone play Tales from the Crypt? Just a basic question here.
No, I have not. Yeah, Tales from the Crypt I watched it. It wasn't because when it comes to sci-fi, I really like Twilight Zone is like one of my favorite shows.
Love that show.
Yeah, and I liked that kind of sci-fi. I didn't like the space, like I'm not into Star Wars or Star Trek or anything, but so Tales from the Crypt, I did watch a lot. I read the comic book also as a kid, I remember. But no, I have not played that game. I didn't even know they had a game.
I didn't know either. They have game for everything.
Yeah, that
Here's
is
one.
true. Because that's one of the things also I have in the cases at Meepleville is to show people they have games or everything. Because in that case back there, like I said, I have like a Justin Bieber game, Archie Bunker game, Dr. Ruth game, Kevin Bacon game, and then I have a stamping game, fly fishing, spices. So I take people back there and I let them know, yeah, there's literally a game for everything. Everything, it really is.
I'll tell you what, if you ever make a video of your warehouse just showing us all the games, please send me a link. I would.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah. Here's a little one for you. The McDonald's game. Did you ever play that one?
You mean the restaurant?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No. I didn't know they had that game. Again, there's just so many games, so no, I didn't know it at all. Because again, like I said, for me, it's the TV shows. Those are the ones that I collect. And again, when people look at those, because for example, I've got the Waltons game, I've got Ben Casey, Mary Hartman, Columbo, Kreskin. Who else do I have? Again, I'm just trying to think. But there's just Petticoat Junction, like things like that. There's just games that, again, there's people probably watch and never heard of those kind of shows. But those are shows like, when I was like younger and stuff growing up. But yeah, that you just don't even realize there was ever a game for. There's just so many out there.
I just had a thought. Do you have a Board Game Geek page where you have all of your personal collection?
No, I do not. I'm not a paperwork person kind of guy. I don't really like log all that kind of stuff. I wish I did. So yeah.
Well, how about let me see if there's any other questions. Okay, I don't see any. So how about your YouTube channel? Have you had that going for a little while? And what can you tell us about your YouTube?
Yeah, so I started it during COVID, just like like hundreds, thousands, millions of people across the world, right? Because you're stuck in your house, you got nothing else to do.
Right.
So yeah, I started it because of that. And then I tried to find out what I like to do, and what I like to do is interview people and meet people. And I've got a lot of friends in the industry because I go to like all the conventions and events and all that kind of stuff. So I started just interviewing a lot of people, and I've just you spoke about Restoration Games. I interviewed Rob Davio, Matt Leacock, Alan Moon from Ticket to Ride.
Yeah.
Just there's so many. So that's what I've done. I've done a lot of interviews on the channel, and also people who are the content creators. I interviewed Rado, Tom Vassell, Rodney from Watch It Played. So just, a lot of those people. So just people in the industry, in the board gaming world and stuff like that. So that's mostly what I do. I'm trying to start reviews. It's not something I really like doing a whole lot, enjoy doing, because there's all those people who I just mentioned and more who do it much better than I do. But I will give it a try. But yeah, that's kind of what I do on my YouTube channel. And also I started Twitch, trying to get into that too. So, because I just got a lot of time on my hands.
Yeah.
My store is not fully operational. So
yeah, I understand. It's kind of the same here.
Yeah.
I'm going to go over to, let's see. Let me go back to your page here. I'm just going to scroll around here just so everybody can see. Let's go to the home. We're just going to show you guys what the Meepleville Board Game Cafe is all about here. Here's their game library for pictures of it here. And they also have the menus, things that you can eat. I think this is just great. Library. Oh, it looks great, Tim.
Yeah, I probably haven't updated it in a long time though, because like even my I haven't updated it in a long time. So, and you can see on top of that picture, right? You can see Dare right up there. I've got some, and in the back, if you look at that other picture, you see up top, I've got like people, because again, I want people to come in and feel comfortable and sort of like spark that feeling of nostalgia. So like in the back, if you notice in one of the pictures, I have like the Babysitters Club, right? So a lot of women come in, they're like, oh, I played that when I was a kid. And, I've got the old Axis and Allies and things like that. So when people come in, it just, makes them feel comfortable right away.
Yeah. Oh, man. Let's see. Let me see if I can get to your collection. Do you see it? I'm just kind of curious to see if there's any games here that you really like a lot. Just to show people what you have in the cafe. Let's see. I got this thing. Okay. That looks like it'll work. Now I just got to find my screen. I'm a little bit new at the screen sharing here. Okay, I think we got it going. War of the Ring. That's one would like to play one day. Castles of Burgundy I really like a lot.
Yeah, War of the Ring is fantastic. I don't know if you can see behind me, right above my head. That's the collector's edition up there. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like a big book. Yeah.
I would like to try that one. I know that game's been around for a while. Let's see. If you feel free to point out any that you really like, Tim.
I mean, there's so many there. You know, like you're scrolling through Sulkin, Underwater Cities, Fields of Arl, you know, Teotihuacan, Keyflower. So yeah, just so many. Agricola is one of my favorites. Quetzalcoatl is fantastic. The West Kingdom, Paladins and Architects, all those games. Yeah, there's Russian Railroads I love.
Wow.
Yeah, Grand Austria Hotel is one of my so many of them.
Wow.
Trade, yeah.
Many of these games I have not played. I would love to be able to try them out. Pandemic, of course, that's a classic.
Yeah.
Iberia, we got that one. We haven't tried it really yet. I think that one's a good one too. Gosh, so many games.
Yeah.
Yeah. You ever play that one? I'm assuming you have.
What, Jaipur?
Jaipur, yeah.
Oh yeah, I that's one of my go-to 2-player games that I teach a lot. I've probably taught Jaipur 100 times. So yeah.
I love Jaipur. I pronounce it Jaipur. I'm glad I've probably been mispronouncing it for a while too, but
I did a little video, like about a three-minute video on my YouTube page on that game Jaipur. I did it, pictures of the city and like gave like a little hit. So I did a little video on that.
I'm gonna look for that and share it because that's a fantastic little 2-player game.
Yeah, and the funny thing about it is it's not really about the game. It's more about like the name Jaipur, because a lot of times when we play games, we know nothing like what Jaipur is. And so I just wanted to show people, hey, this is an actual city in India. Here it is. Here's what they have, blah, 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 so.
Yeah, and that's something I didn't know. Like when I first got it, I didn't know it was an actual city.
Right.
But yeah, it's a great game. There's Acquire. I like it. You've played Acquire too. That's an older game, but yeah, that's a really good game too.
Oh yeah, that came out in 1964. That should have been the game that Monopoly is. I mean, Acquire is fantastic. And of course, I forgot what it is. I think it's the 98 edition or something like that. One of them where they've got the actual bigger buildings. That's the real collectible one. So
yeah. I think we have that one. That's a super nice version.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Survive. That's a great game.
Yes. Yep.
Let's see. I have not played Dune yet. I've heard a lot about it though.
Oh yeah, I have the original actually. That's one of the games in my case that I have in the back that I was telling you about. I've got the original Dune and the Spice Harvest and the other expansion. I can't think of the name of it offhand, but I've got that in there. And and then they reprinted it, and now they've got Dune Imperium right now, which is out right now, which is one of the hottest games out right now.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I've seen that one. I've not seen the movie yet. I think I saw a little bit of it. My wife, I saw that Sting was in it, and I know my wife likes Stings. So right now, that's the only connection I have with it.
Oh yeah, I love the Police. I saw them like 3 times or whatever. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they have some good stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see. How did you come across all these games? Did the company send them to you, or is it just games that you just got little by little?
Yeah, no, I mostly when I opened the cafe, I probably had maybe 600 games, maybe that I had 600 to 800 that I had been collecting that were my own personal, and that I had started buying, to open the cafe. And then, it's a little bit of both. You know what I mean? I get some from, publishers, like when I go to conventions and do stuff. I mean, I run a convention, Dave and I run a convention out here, Dice Tower West, Tom is a partner for the Dice Tower. So we run a convention too. So, we get games from publishers. Sometimes I buy them still. A lot of my Kickstarters that I get, because again, I'm one of those kind of people. They're no good sitting on my shelf back here because I don't play them. So I just bring them up to the cafe and put them there so other people can enjoy them.
Yeah, man, so many great games. Oh, let's see here. All right, let's see here. Window. There we go. Okay. All right. Well, yeah, man, what a fantastic collection, him. And it's cool to see how like everything kind of grows into what it is now. How you started collecting, and now you're doing Dice Tower West and these conventions. What would the typical convention look like when you did them?
When I go, you mean like other conventions or Dice Tower West?
The Dice Tower West.
Oh, well, Dave and I, we started, it was just a 1-day convention. Because what it was is we had gone together up to Utah to Bryce Canyon. They had this little convention up there, right in the middle of this national park. And they had like, I don't know, maybe 120 people or something. And so on the way back, we were like, how can we can get at least 100 people together in Las Vegas. I mean, this is the middle of a national park in Utah. I was like, we can at least do that in Vegas. And there wasn't one in Vegas. So we got back on Monday. That Wednesday, I booked a room. And then like a month later, I think it was, or no, 2 months later, a month and a half later, I think it was, or whatever, we put on our first 1-day convention. We had about 160, 180 people showed up, which we were surprised about. And then the next 3 years after that, we moved to Eastside Cannery for 3 years. And then for the last 2 years, that's when we joined up with Tom to, because it was MeepleCon the first 4 years. And then we joined up with Tom, became Dice Tower West. And the last 2 years, we had it at the Westgate Hotel in Las Vegas. And next year is going to be fantastic in 22. We had to cancel it this year, of course. But yeah, it's going to be fantastic. It's going to be really, really good in 22. And the way things are going, a lot of people think that it actually might be one of the first conventions to actually kick off again, because the way the vaccine rollout and all this kind of stuff is really slow and lagging and all this. Who knows when they're going to allow big groups or conventions together this year at all, right? And nobody wants to be the first. That's the thing. So we'll see. Yeah,
it's been the same here. Did you have any? I'm kind of going back and forth a little bit here. So you got a convention hopefully going on in 2022. Fantastic. I'm praying that really goes well with that. Do you guys do 1-day conventions, or does it turn into multi-day?
Oh yeah, no. Now it's up to 5 days, right? We start on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So yeah, now it's 5 days. And even a little bit earlier, because next year we also kind of do a half day sort of on Tuesday, unofficial, because we sort of open registration early, to kind of cut back on the lines, and we open up a play area so people can play. So, but officially it'll be a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and we close at 3:00 on Sunday.
Okay, great. Wow. Well, I'm definitely going to hope that you get a great turnout. And
well, thank you. Yeah.
Hopefully this virus thing is going to be over soon, and then we can all get back to living our normal lives.
Yes, absolutely.
Did they give you any kind of indication as to when you're going to be able to maybe increase capacity in your cafe, or have you heard anything?
No, I mean, the state regulations change depending on, the capacity at the hospitals. That's the big thing they look at. Right. And like my wife, she works at a hospital. She's all done with her vaccine. Actually, she had her second shot and everything, so she's all done. But no, it just depends on, what's going on in the current condition. Like I said, right now we're at 25% capacity, 4 people per table. And even events, I think the maximum you can have an event is like 50 people or something. It's just Las Vegas. I mean, again, everywhere in the country, it's just real bad. And they're just trying to, squash it, whatever the term you want to use, just hopefully get these vaccines out so we can, get to a point where we can sort of resume normal life again.
Yeah. I'm hoping and praying for that soon. We had done a show called Meepleville Meets, where you interview different people, and you've had Tom Bassel on. Do you have any upcoming interviews coming up?
Yeah, I have one more, because I got a whole bunch of other things going up. So just this past Monday, I put up, because I was about like 3 weeks out, when I would record them, because I just would, put them a week apart. So this past Monday, I put out Cole Worley. He was the designer of Root and Pax Pamir, which are 2 of the biggest games of the past year, those 2. And this Monday, I have Jason Matthews, who was the designer of Twilight Struggle, which was #1 on Board Game Geek for like 5 or 6 years, the #1 game in the world. The Cold War. So he's coming up on Monday. And that's the last one I have planned right now. Like I said, I put because I think I've done about maybe 35 of them, something like that. So I've just got other projects that I'm working on. So the interviews are going to, be nil after Monday, but slowed way back for the near future.
All right, good. And speaking of other projects, as far as the channel goes, I know you were talking about maybe doing some board game reviews. Do you have any other kind of videos ideas that you're going to be doing on your show in the near future, or what you're doing now?
Well, like last night, we had our first show that I do on Board Game Geek. It shows up on the front page of Board Game Geek. It's called The More Meeples, the Merrier. What it is just about bringing more voices and more faces to the table. We talked about games. We talked about, what do we do? Our topic was the top 3 resolution games we have yet to play that we are going to make sure we get to the table this year. And then I do a Monday night show on, so that's every Wednesday I do that. And then on Monday, do a Twitch show. I do just board game news and talk. It's just me kind of rambling a little bit. But like I said, I'm going to start getting more and more involved with Twitch to do more live stuff, more talking, things like that. Because again, I've just got time on my hands. So.
Well, that's one thing that we all have is time. So we've got time to do stuff on our YouTube channel. So man, that's impressive, Tim. I had a quick question for you. Where are you located out on the west side? My friend Jamie lives in California.
Oh, from the no, well, Las Vegas, right? I heard him.
Vegas, right? Okay,
yeah, in Las Vegas, in Nevada.
Okay, good. So, all right, I'm gonna just leave you with this. This is Tim from Meepleville, everybody. He has a board game cafe in Nevada. It's like the largest one of its kind. He has 2,400 games you can choose from. They have a great menu selection. I'm going to put the link on the website. Before we go, Tim, just feel free to tell us a little bit about what your cafe is and what it's going to be once the COVID regulations get lifted again.
Oh, sure. Thank you, Norm. I appreciate that. Yeah, so Meepleville Board Game Cafe is located in Las Vegas, right at Sahara and Decatur, right in the center of the valley. We have over 2,500 games to play. We have a full cafe. We have beer, wine, pizza, hamburgers, nachos, tacos, chicken bites, smoothies, fraps, a whole bunch of stuff. We have a retail section too, quite an extensive retail section. We could actually be a small board game store, so you can try before you buy, which is a good thing about that. And once things get back to normal, when people are allowed to come in, we'll just resume how it was before, where we have our meetup nights, which was really, really big, because Vegas is a real big transient city, so people come and go all the time. So we get a lot of people to come in by yourselves. You're just new to Vegas, want to make friends. So that was a really big night, really good thing we used to do a lot. Our D&D nights, our werewolf nights. Again, we have a Las Vegas Bridge Club. We have Las Vegas Backgammon Club. We have Las Vegas Bridge World. We have a Pinochle group. We have Hearts and Spades. They'll be going back. We have a euchre group. That's what I forgot too. Euchre. That's a card game if you're from around the south of the Great Lakes. We have a big euchre group. They've been with us for a couple of years. So yeah, we have a lot of different things going. We've been, talking about maybe getting a mahjong group, just a whole bunch of different things. And again, our regular board game nights and just a whole bunch of stuff. So hopefully we'll get back to normal where we can get this community back together, people enjoying each other and games.
Tim, thank you so much, man. It's just refreshing it's always refreshing to talk to people that just want to do community things, especially in these times.
Yes.
Everything going on. It's great to have people like you out there that are just ready to just get people back to living life again and just enjoying things. And the board games are a great way to do it for sure.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Norm, for having me. I really appreciate it.
Man, thank you so much, Tim, for being here, guys. This is Tim from Meepleville. I'm going to post a link to his YouTube channel. Check out his webpage at meepleville.com. And hope to have you on again, Tim. Thanks so much.
All right. Thank you, Norm.
And everybody, thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you soon. Bye.